you call it engineering, but
Yes.
looking at the
Production.
production, looking at the manufacturing and production sector, how well can it help us, perhaps maybe jumpstart us out of this whole mess?
Well, it takes time. I mean, I use the example of sharpening brooms to make tooth, because you don't have a lot of investment there, you don't have a lot of technology. It's something you can just sit down and begin to do. Right? But you need to be producing things yourselves. And we keep saying that over and over. I was at a lecture series that started yesterday, Chief Philip Aseodu, and he presented a paper which he wrote in 1979, talking about diversifying the Nigerian economy.
Far back in the 70s.
1979, it was there. And he spoke to it. He said he changed one word there, or one expression, from $2, that was what a barrel of oil cost, to $40, which is what it's costing today. 1979. I don't know how many years that is. Nearly 40 years.
The paper is obviously older than I am, but I'm just wondering, you've talked about some policies which you think that the government is still assessing the problems. That's what it appears that government seems to be doing. You say that they ought to have resumed office with their own plans, and people should have been able to see that by now. It's nearly a year since they were elected. What are some of the areas, in which areas would you say that government's plans should have been a little more visible in terms of their preparations?
Just as they were prepared for security and for corruption, right? So also they could have been prepared for education, they could have been prepared for agriculture, for producing more food, for employment, because employment can be secondary if you're doing anything at all. Even this refusal to devalue the naira, technically or theoretically, can engender employment. What were we importing before? Can somebody else be doing it locally now? So people can go into production, but you need capital for production. So we ought to, all right, we know how much roughly they're going to borrow in order to get the budget going. But we're told, for instance, that while you introduce the zero-based budgeting system, people have not been trained for it. Now, they couldn't have trained anybody before going to government anyway. So we have a number of things where we're told why they have not been done. I'm not being critical necessarily of the government, but these are facts that you take the American system. The moment one party takes over government, politics stops.
I'd like to go back a little bit, because that paper which you spoke about, to many it rings a bell.
Yes.
And that's because for years now, even the generation of journalists before us have touched on this same issue, diversifying the economy.
Right.
And one wonders, why do you think that we keep saying all of those things and we never seem to do it?
Well, one reason is that we do not subscribe to what I would call excellence. Define your job and do it as best. Well, if I say best can be a failure. You must aim for the sky with anything you do. If you are a civil servant, aim for the sky. Don't tell me it's not your father's job. So you ask somebody to exert themselves, you say, my friend, well, it's not my father's job. Now and these are highly educated people. So there's something fundamentally wrong with us. You're supposed to be equipped with brains like everybody else. You're not being asked to start anything new in this world. It's been done next door to you. Why are you not doing them? I don't know why you're not doing them. I just think you are not committed to excellence. It's a very easy answer for me. I may be wrong. But why don't we do the best we can? You've said it now that everybody knows about this thing. We've been talking about diversifying the economy. We've been talking about the great advantages of agriculture. Talk. So why are we not doing them?
So we know all of this already.
You have the smartest engineers in the world abroad. There are Nigerians in NASA, the American National Aeronautical, whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, in anything, any endeavor. Why are we not making it here?
Do you agree with those who say that we've been getting it wrong in politics, and perhaps that's like the bane of our challenge?
Well, what you've been getting wrong in politics is not the fundamentals of politics. It is the type of people politics throws up. We were conversing yesterday. I mean, it's not book knowledge that is the best knowledge, but if you have a better way of measuring people's capacity, let's have it. But you have people who have gone to the best schools, got the best marks, and they're in government elsewhere. We can't get people like that here into government. The system can accommodate them. That is, you get into power by either bullying us to vote for you or begging us to vote for you, even if you don't know what exactly to do. But then the system allows you to appoint people, executives who themselves have not, they don't know how to make politics. They don't know how to access power, but they can get the job done. So you get a man who is expert not in farming, but his mind is clear about what he could use agriculture to achieve. He becomes your Minister of Agriculture. He doesn't have to be capable of winning election. I mean, never mind, we call them honorable ministers now, which is, in the English language, untrue, it's a lie. They are not honorable ministers. An honorable minister is a member of the House who is also appointed a minister. Now, that's the British system.
The parliamentary system.
Parliamentary system. You be a minister because you are been elected, so you're a politician. Well, in Nigeria, we take everything on. Oh, yeah, we are not been elected. You're a minister, but you are honorary.
It doesn't mix and match.
Yeah, I mean, if you bring any more, I'll take anything. So our system allows, in fact, that you needn't soil your hands in politics. If politics is bad game, Nigeria still is. Some of them kill people. Some of them, I mean, they can say to me, hey, we'll take you to court for impeding our reputation. They do all sorts of things to acquire power. But then the system says, having acquired power, you can now decide who runs what. Who's going to be your Minister of Education? That's your decision to make. It doesn't have to have one election. So we can use the best people in this country.
Well, were you encouraged by the kinds of conversation that went on at the national conference about the future of this country?
No.
Why not?
I wasn't. The politics was very bad. It was not cohesive. It was not helping us to develop as one nation. It was very fragmented. Everybody's trying to take care of themselves or where they come from. Right? So things which you can argue are good for Nigeria, people say, it's good for Nigeria, but it's not good for my people. And therefore, I'm not going to accept it. And I found a lot of that. All right, I'm not used to trading power and beyond running.
So the national spirit was absent.
I'm afraid it was to a large extent.
Do you think we're telling ourselves or ready for the truth in this country?
No, but the composition was something that was clever and valuable. I mean, there's nothing in the Nigerian context which make me come and participate in essentially political discussion. But we're selected based on areas of specialty. I was there because I was an engineer, and no other reason. Really, I think.
It's interesting that you were there because you were an engineer. I'm sure so many of the people were representing their fields, but
exactly.
when they got there,
Yes.
were they representing those fields or they representing where they were from?
Well, I spoke to somebody who was supposed to be a reasonable journalist. He had held position in NUJ. And I said, you can't be talking like this here. I said, I wear two caps. I said, one is for
How convenient.
National Union of Journalists. The other is for my local, where I come from. Right. In the Nigerian context, maybe you can't fault.
Do you see that going away from our national life?
Not for a long time.
Not for a long time.
I'm sorry. You need somebody to kick us in the pants.
Can we work towards that, and how?
I don't know how it should be done. But historically, nobody got to where you're trying to get to by having parties at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, tired Tuesday, and so. We're having a good time. Countries were not united in peace and jollying. They were united by force of nature. We don't have hurricanes. We don't have, I'm not asking for them. We don't have natural disasters that force us to work together. Somebody was saying so yesterday. We don't have a political system where one man really kicking us in the pants to say, forget this, your pettiness. It's not going to get you anywhere. It's bad enough to be black. Then you are a black. I come from a little place called Ila. What chance have you in the world? If that's what you had, your flag you are waving, your little hole. And for many Nigerians, that's more important than being Nigerian. So we have trouble.
Well, that's where we'll have to anchor. Vincent Maduka, OFR, is a former president, Nigeria Academy of Engineering, also delegate at the national conference. So I appreciate your comment on this morning.
Thank you very much.